What's up, Celtics fans? If you thought the season was over after Jason Tatum went down with that brutal Achilles tear in Game 4, I've got some news that might make you rethink everything. Because even without their superstar, the Boston Celtics are showing the heart of a champion, and last night's game was proof that this team is not ready to roll over and give up their crown. Forget what you thought you knew, because the Celtics just delivered a statement win, and now this series is headed back to Madison Square Garden for a Game 6 that's going to be pure chaos. Let's rewind a bit. When Tatum hit the floor, clutching his Achilles, you could almost hear the hot takes firing up. Season's over. No chance without Tatum. The Knicks are going to close this out easy. But the Celtics had other plans. Last night at TD Garden, in front of a fired-up home crowd, they dismantled the New York Knicks with a kind of precision and aggression that makes you remember why they're the defending champions. This wasn't just a win, this was a message. And the message was clear: we're not done yet. With Tatum out, the big question was who would step up. Well, Derek White and Jaylen Brown didn't just step up, they exploded. Together, they combined for 60 points, filling the offensive void, and then some. Derek White was relentless, attacking off the dribble, knocking down threes, playing like a man possessed. Jaylen Brown, the finals MVP from last year, showed once again why he's built for the big moments. Every time the Knicks tried to mount a run, Brown was there to silence them with a dagger. And then there was Luke Kornet. Now, let's be honest, nobody was expecting Kornet to be the X factor. But in 26 minutes, the big man was everywhere. Nearly dropping a triple-double with points, rebounds, and blocks, Kornet anchored the paint and gave the Celtics that defensive backbone they desperately needed. His hustle plays, his rim protection, his energy, it all added up to the most dominant win of the series so far. A 25-point beatdown that left no doubt who the better team was on that court. But here's where it gets really interesting. This wasn't just about talent stepping up. This was about strategy. On ESPN's Get Up, Heat legend Udonis Haslem broke it down perfectly. He pointed out the key adjustment that might have just saved the Celtics season. Boston found something, Haslem said, and that something was Jalen Brunson. The Celtics went after him like sharks smelling blood in the water. Every single possession, they hunted him down, forcing him to defend in isolation, putting him in the spin cycle, making him work on every inch of the court. It wasn't just Jaylen Brown attacking Brunson. Derek White joined the party too. Whoever had the ball, if Brunson was on them, the mission was clear. Go right at him. The plan was so effective that Brunson, who had 0 fouls at halftime, ended up fouling out of the game with over 7 minutes still left in the fourth quarter. Think about that for a second. The game was tied at halftime, but by the end of the third quarter, Brunson had picked up 5 fouls, the Knicks were down by 13, and the momentum had completely swung in Boston's favor. Brunson subbed out late in the third, tried to come back to start the fourth, but the damage was already done. He picked up his 6th and final foul with more than 7 minutes remaining, and from there the Celtics just kept their foot on the gas. By the time the final buzzer sounded, Boston had built a 22-point lead, leaving the Knicks stunned and the Garden rocking. Now, let's talk about what this means moving forward. Losing Tatum is obviously a massive blow. He's one of the best players in the league, a first-team All-NBA selection, the face of the franchise. But the Celtics were built for moments like this. Jaylen Brown isn't just a sidekick, he's a finals MVP, a proven closer. Derek White has emerged as a two-way force. Drew Holiday brings championship experience and veteran leadership. This isn't a one-man team. It never has been. The Celtics' depth, their defensive intensity, their ability to adapt under pressure, all of that was on full display in Game 5. And now, the series shifts back to New York, where the pressure is all on the Knicks. Madison Square Garden is going to be electric. The crowd will be loud, the expectations sky high. But here's the thing, the Knicks have been shaky at home. Their win in Game 4 snapped a 3-game home losing streak. So if the Celtics can come out strong, land that first punch, and put New York on their heels, the crowd could turn from a boost to a burden real quick. After the game, Jaylen Brown kept it simple. I know it's easy to kind of write things off, but we still got basketball to be played. Don't count us out just yet. And you know what? He's right. Boston has been here before. They've faced adversity, battled through injuries, and found ways to win when everyone doubted them. This team has heart. This team has fight. And as Udonis Haslem said, NBA fans would be foolish to count them out now. The Celtics have flipped the narrative. What looked like a devastating injury might have unlocked a new version of this team. Hungrier, tougher, more focused. They've found a new weapon in attacking weak points like Brunson. They've rediscovered their defensive identity. And most importantly, they've reminded everyone that championships aren't won on paper. They're won on grit, execution, and the refusal to quit. Friday night's Game 6 is going to be a battle. The Knicks are desperate to close it out at home, but the Celtics are walking in with house money and nothing to lose. And that makes them dangerous, very dangerous. All eyes will be on that opening tip-off, because how Boston starts could dictate how this entire game unfolds. One thing's for sure, though, the Celtics aren't going quietly. Not tonight. Not in this series. Not with a title to defend. As we look ahead to Game 6, the psychological battle becomes just as important as the physical one. The Knicks know they missed a golden opportunity to put this series to bed, and now they're feeling the weight of expectations. That's a dangerous place to be, especially against the Celtics team that has nothing to lose and everything to prove. Pressure does funny things to teams. It can either sharpen you or shatter you. And if there's one thing we've learned from this Boston squad, it's that they thrive when their backs are against the wall. The Celtics aren't just playing for survival. Oh, they're playing with a chip on their shoulder. All season long, the narrative has been about how they're a powerhouse when healthy, but the moment adversity strikes, people are quick to doubt them. Losing Jason Tatum could have been the excuse. It could have been the reason for an early exit, but instead it's become the spark that reignited their fighting spirit. You could see it in every possession of Game 5. The hustle plays, the extra effort on defense, the fearless drives to the basket. Boston didn't just want to win. They wanted to send a message that they're more than just their superstar. This mentality, this collective determination, is what makes championship teams different. Every player understands their role, but they're also ready to step up when the moment calls for it. That's exactly what we saw from Derek White and Jaylen Brown. White's aggression in attacking the rim, his confidence in pulling up from deep, his ability to disrupt passing lanes, it was a masterclass in two-way basketball. Jaylen Brown, meanwhile, embraced the spotlight. His footwork, his mid-range game, his leadership on the floor, all of it combined to fill the void left by Tatum's absence. But perhaps the most underrated storyline is how Boston's coaching staff adjusted. They didn't panic. They didn't try to reinvent the wheel. Instead, they identified the Knicks' defensive vulnerabilities and went after them relentlessly. Targeting Jalen Brunson wasn't just a random decision, it was a calculated move, designed to exploit mismatches and force the Knicks to make tough choices. Brunson is the heart and soul of New York's offense, but if you make him expend energy on every defensive possession, it inevitably affects his rhythm on the other end of the court. And that's exactly what happened. By the time Brunson fouled out, he looked gassed. The Celtics' strategy had worked to perfection. Without their floor general, the Knicks struggled to organize their offense, and the Celtics pounced. Every missed shot, every turnover, Boston turned into transition opportunities. The energy in the building was electric, feeding into every Celtics run, making it feel like an avalanche the Knicks couldn't stop. Looking at the bigger picture, what Boston accomplished in Game 5 goes. Beyond just extending the series, they exposed a blueprint for how to disrupt the Knicks' game plan. They showed that by staying disciplined on defense, forcing isolation plays, and being aggressive and attacking mismatches, they can control the tempo and dictate the flow of the game. That's a powerful psychological edge to have going into. Game 6, the Knicks, on the other hand, are now in a precarious position. Yes, they have home court advantage, but it hasn't exactly been a fortress for them. Their inconsistencies at Madison Square Garden are well documented. The pressure of the crowd, the weight of expectations, and now the fear of a surging Celtics team could become a toxic combination. If Boston comes out swinging, builds an early lead, and forces the Knicks to play from behind, the tension in the building could become palpable. For Boston, the key will be to replicate the same intensity and execution they showed in Game 5. That means staying aggressive on offense, continuing to attack defensive weak points, and maintaining their defensive discipline. Players like Drew Holiday and Al Horford, veterans with deep playoff experience, will play crucial roles in keeping the team composed amidst the chaos. Their leadership, both on and off the court, provides the steady hand this young roster needs in high-pressure moments, and we can't overlook the impact of role players either. Guys like Sam Hauser and Peyton Pritchard, who might not stuff the stat sheet, but whose hustle, perimeter shooting, and defensive grit provide the spark that can swing momentum in Boston's favor. In playoff basketball, it's often the unexpected heroes who make the difference. We saw that with Luke Kornet's surprising near triple-double. Who's to say someone else won't rise to the occasion in Game 6? The beauty of this Celtics team lies in their depth and versatility. They're not relying on a single star to carry them. They can adapt, shift their offensive focus, and rely on multiple players to contribute. That's the hallmark of a true contender. It's what carried them to the championship last season, and it's what's keeping their title defense alive now. For Knicks fans, there's no sugarcoating it. Game 6 is a must-win, and the pressure is immense. But for Boston, they're playing with house money. Every possession, every defensive stop, every bucket is a chance to further tilt the scales in their favor. The Celtics have been through these battles before. They know what it takes to win on the road in hostile environments. Jaylen Brown's words after Game 5 still echo loudly. Don't count us out just yet. It's not just bravado, it's a mindset. This team believes in itself, even when the odds are stacked against them, and that belief is contagious. You can see it in the way they play for each other, how they celebrate each defensive stop, how they pick each other up after every hard-fought possession. As we inch closer to Game 6, one thing is clear: the Celtics have reignited the fight. They've reminded everyone why they're the defending champions. Tatum's injury might have shifted the narrative, but it hasn't ended their story. In fact, it might have just added a new, gritty chapter to their playoff legacy. The stage is set for an epic showdown at Madison Square Garden. The Knicks are desperate to close it out, but the Celtics are coming in with nothing but belief, momentum, and that signature Boston toughness. This series is far from over. Buckle up, because Game 6 is going to be a war. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In a shocking revelation that has sent ripples through the Boston Celtics organization and the NBA community, head coach Joe Mazzulla has publicly addressed a concerning issue affecting the team's dynamic. During a recent press conference, Mazzulla, known for his typically composed demeanor, expressed frustration, saying, "There is a player contaminating the team." This bold statement has raised eyebrows, sparking questions about the internal chemistry of a franchise currently competing for the top spot in the Eastern Conference. Though Mazzulla did not name the player directly, his comments have fueled speculation about who could be the source of the disruption within the locker room. The Celtics have long been known for their cohesive team chemistry, with players such as Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Marcus Smart leading the charge both on and off the court. However, Mazzulla's statement indicates that something has gone awry behind the scenes. In his remarks, Mazzulla seemed to emphasize that the issue wasn't a matter of individual performance on the court, but rather an influence that was damaging to the overall team environment. This is not about basketball talent, Mazzulla clarified. It's about the mentality and the way we function as a group. We need everyone to be on the same page. The coach's frustration seems to stem from a player whose actions or attitude may be undermining the Celtics' tight-knit culture. This revelation has raised several questions about the team's locker room dynamics. Is it a case of a single player disrupting team chemistry, or are there deeper issues at play within the organization? The Celtics have been performing well on the court, but the tension described by Mazzulla suggests that internal struggles may be threatening their pursuit of an NBA title. The timing of this statement is particularly significant, as the team is heading into the critical stretch of the regular season, aiming to secure a strong playoff position. Team officials have remained tight-lipped about the identity of the player in question. Some reports suggest that Mazzulla may be referring to a veteran player who has been struggling to adjust to the evolving dynamics of the team. Others speculate that it could be a younger player still learning the ropes of professional basketball, whose behavior or approach may not align with the Celtics' culture of accountability and teamwork. One thing is clear: Mazzulla's comments have placed a spotlight on the importance of team chemistry in the NBA. While individual talent is always a key component of any successful franchise, the Celtics' recent struggles may serve as a reminder that cohesion and unity are just as crucial. In a league where personalities often clash, maintaining a positive locker room environment can make or break a season. As the Celtics move forward, all eyes will be on Mazzulla and his ability to handle the situation. His leadership has already been tested this season, but this latest controversy will undoubtedly be one of his most challenging tests yet. How the Celtics respond to this internal turmoil and whether they can resolve the issue quickly will have a significant impact on their chances in the postseason. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.